Welcome, everyone. This is the Unhinged Success Podcast, and I'm Chelsea Gray, your host. And hello, we are a new version today. Let me tell you. For those of you who have been following and listening and watching my journey, I first started recording my podcast episodes back in July. Oh, no, it was May. Oh, my goodness. It was May. I did some stuff in June and July of last year. And then I really started to feel like life was too hectic and too crazy to do that anymore. There was a lot of bad, crazy things that were going on that I didn't really feel like I was in control of. And I wasn't in control of myself, is what it felt like in a degree. And for those of you listening who have experienced military sexual trauma or who have experienced that in a workplace, doesn't matter, doesn't have to be just in the military. You have PTSD from that, and that is a really difficult journey to walk out of. And I just recently had a phone call with a gentleman who we're going to be really working closely together in advocacy and for men and women who've gone through military sexual trauma. That's why I started my brand. That's why I started my podcast. That's why I did everything. I will just be so frank with you because there is a time and a space that we are all operating in right now where we have a choice to be a builder or a breaker. And so just recently, I had the honor of being recognized as the military hero of the match for the SD Waves. Shout out to them. I've got my my scarf on for those of you who are listening, and then those of you who are watching. Also, you're going to see in screen here, I have Toby the T-Rex with me. He is on my couch, and he just so happened to be in the frame today, and I was like, we're keeping him there. And I've also got my beautiful Lego flowers here that my beautiful friend Lisa got me last year. And I really wanted to go through having this episode be a gratitude episode because I would not be sitting here today with this much joy in my heart without the Lord, without my husband, and without giving credit where credit is due for so many people who have enamously touched me in my life in such beautiful ways. And I really want to kind of go back a little bit in time because I would not, like I said, there's so much that's led up to this specific moment. And I'm so excited to call some people out in such a beautiful way and get to honor them because I've been honored. So I really want to honor some amazing people today. And I will share that going back into my childhood, here we go. Miss Elson, she was the woman who really helped change the trajectory of my vision as a young leader and a young academic when I was in elementary school. She's the whole reason why I got to go on my journey of going to Washington, D.C. with the People to People program when I was literally in 5th grade. That was so cool. And then the following year, I got to go to Europe with the same program for leadership and academic ambassador program. Got to do so many great, amazing things, but I wouldn't even have known about that program if it wasn't for Miss Elson in Wyoming. So thank you so much. Number 2, I really want to thank my mom. And a lot of you have seen and heard my journey about everything that has gone on in my childhood and then what I've grown from. There is such a level of gratitude that I do have for my mom. And she was doing the best that she could with what she had, where she was at. And so I just want to say thank you, Mom. And I also want to say thank you to Dennis. Dennis has been there in my life ever since I was a child. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Linda, who's my stepmom. Everybody that has been a part of my family life that has been supporting me. Thank you to my sister, Olivia. I love you so much. I really would not be here without that core family. Obviously, my amazing husband, Corey. You're such a gift to me, and I love you so much. And that getting me to where I am today without family, without people that saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. That is what I'm trying to drive home from this episode today, because the Chelsea that you are listening to and you're seeing today has gone through an immeasurable amount of refinement, maturing, and growth. And I really want to share that growth and all the chaos that really happened over the past 6 years of my life since getting out of the military. It's all been a part of the plan. No matter how gory and graphic it's all been a part of the plan, because without me going through what I've gone through, I can very much say that I would not have the confidence I have today. I would not have the relationships that I have today. I would not have the impact that I've been able to accomplish today if none of that happened. And moving into a little bit more recently, some more people that have really impacted me greatly, and then I'll share some fun highlights and wins and just fun things I've been able to do recently as well. When I got in the Marine Corps, there was a very core group of people that were very well to me and loved me. And my drill instructor, actually, when I was in boot camp that I was graduating from, Staff Sergeant Rogers, she really, I mean, if I didn't have her as a leader when I was in boot camp, I think it would have totally changed the trajectory of who I became as a Marine, as a female Marine. And so that was really special. And that was really a really cool experience to get to know her and get to see her in her fields. It was really awesome. And then when I got out to the fleet, my husband, Corey, he was somebody that saw something in me that I saw in him. And like, I knew that there was just this bright light about him, and I was so drawn to him. And for those of you who don't know our love story, I kind of like asked him to marry me, basically, because he was the healthiest man that I'd ever met in my entire life. And I was like, you are such a gift, and I don't want to let you go, and you're mine. So here we are, 7 years later, boom. And I met my beautiful sister, Paula Vasquez. I love her so much, because even though we both went through the most defiling and difficult season of our lives together, many years later, the Lord has completely reunited us to be together on this earth. She lives, up north from me, and it's so crazy how our lives, we were brought together, and then through all the trauma, separated, needed our time to heal, and God brought us all back together, which is so special. And then we get into when we started going to church, and when we really got integrated into our first church, and we really came back to the Lord, and it was really special because God brought me into this relationship with beautiful Greg and Linda Blankenship, which was super foreshadowing, actually, for those of you that don't know, my dad and my stepmom's name are Greg and Linda. And so they were kind of like these, godparents that we were gifted in the season when we needed parents the most. And so they blessed us with a vehicle for Corey. They blessed us in so many other ways. And it was just so, so special. So I'm so grateful for that. And that's actually where I got to learn and grow and get to, know more about Italian handbags. So grazie bella. If you guys are looking to buy handbags, you guys need to go do that. And Linda Blankenship, you can go find it on Instagram and Facebook and all the fun stuff. Shout out Linda. Love you so much. And so that season while they were here in our lives was really pivotal, because I was going through the internship program at my church, and it was my first year of marriage, all of these things. So it was like a really difficult growing time. And then fast forward a little bit more into when I went through this business apprenticeship and coaching accelerator program, David Ewing, shout out to David Ewing with Heave Ho Creatives. He has been such a phenomenal leader in my life when we were going to that specific church. And now, even later, all of the stuff that he did to pour into me and Corey and so many other people. I mean, he is just amazing. And I'm so grateful for him and what he does and how supportive he is of other believers. And it's so beautiful. So fast forward a little bit more into me getting to meet beautiful Charlene and Angela. So Charlene Adelino and Angela Nagel. And came to know them very well through the Veterans Employment Committee and networking in all these veteran groups. And Josh Prado invited me to do all these things with them. And I started to get involved. And when I tell you that I didn't know how to handle healthy people, okay, when you have PTSD and you've gone through some really rough shindigs, you don't know who's good and who's bad, and you don't know who you can trust and who's really for you and who's really against you. I'm just going to say that right now. I'm also going to give a really good shout out here for what they have done to be prayer partners in my life and supporting me in that way. And it's been so special. And I'm so grateful that I get to continue working with them to this day because of everything that I'm doing with my new contract with TMG, because I still get to be Chelsea Gray, Spotlight Strategies, have my own podcast. Like, that's really what I wanted my stuff to be, was more podcasting, PR, speaking. That's what I wanted it to really focus on when I was looking at having my own brand. Yes, I know that we want to, have all the strategy, build businesses, do all these great things. That is for other people. And I did what I could and where I was at and what I've learned. And I love speaking. I love connecting with people in a different way. And I get to do that now with TMG, and I still get to have this podcast. So anyways, tangent. I am so grateful for Susan Roberts with what she does at VECA. Thank you so much, because that group has been very special to me. I've made so many friendships and relationships there, and I'm very grateful for that and being able to be a part of a really great network of women and men who serve our country. It's amazing. Thank you, Justin Hayes, for what you've done to help amplify my voice as another female veteran. It's like your older brother to me. I'm really grateful for you with Red, White, and Badass Brew. I really, really want to take the time to also thank Ed Harrington and my whole team of people on the advisory board with the Vet Mentor View Transition Networking Group that I've been a part of. Caroline, everybody that is on the advisory board, you're all very special. Robin. And so that group specifically with Ed Harrington gave me the launching pad of confidence that I really needed to be able to get and do more public speaking. And then that's where I met Steve Tobias and his beautiful wife, Jen. And they have been such pivotal people in our lives, and Mike Prestonisi and all of these amazing, amazing people that I would not have met, Chuck Callahan, if I had not been in this place of deep surrender and desire to grow. Because you can be a victim, that's fine. Or you can be somebody who desires to be better than who you were right now. And I fully take on that philosophy of being a new creation every single day, because let me tell you, yesterday was so amazing, of me being honored at the event with the football club. But the day leading up to it, like the morning of and the afternoon, they were rough. Like, I was going through some stuff mentally and emotionally. And I'm sitting here like, God, why is this happening right now? Because I'm stepping into a new level. And when you step into a new level of growth, what got you there today to this day, you can't carry that into the next season with you. That's why there's so much written in the Word of God and in other literatures of fresh oil, fresh wine, fresh fire. You can't bring old mindsets into new spaces. You can't, all these things, whether it's personal growth or biblical or not, like, it is just everywhere. Okay. And I want to acknowledge that there's a lot of people listening to my podcast that have been through a lot of stuff, whether it's domestic violence, sexual assault, it's been church hurt, it's been, you pick your poison, whatever it is, whatever type of abuse or pain or trauma, and you can get through it, you can get past it. I promise you, you can. And if you need someone to talk to about that, I'm always here. I'm always ear of a listen for that. And yeah, I have so many friends in my life now that I would not have met, like I said, if I didn't go and put myself out there at all. All the individuals that are a part of Veterans Beer Club, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Both Sean's, Phil, George. There's so many different people. And most of all, I would have to say my beautiful sister, Lisa Brown. Her and I met last year during the height, really right before all this like crazy stuff was going on in my life. And she's been such a gift, such a beautiful gift. I love her so deeply and so dearly. Oh, and I also have to give thanks where thanks is due as well for I wouldn't be here too without Ish Ramos with Core Compassing, because he was there for me in growing and developing me as an apprenticed business coach with him. I worked on some clients. Thank you, Mike Roberts with Creating Coding Careers. Thank you, Raymond Hughes with DoD Training Center. Thank you, Errol Gorman with Genesis Group. Thank you, Laura Bassett. Thank you, Josh Turchin. Thank you. Thank you. Because every single one of you that I've worked with and that I've spoken to that has developed me, and we've also mutually developed as we've all grown since we've last seen each other, I think it's really special. And no one can foresee when you meet somebody what the end result's going to look like. Excuse me, let me drink my tea, which is coffee, not tea, because, we want some. Um, that was a big thing that I had to learn in business was you don't know who you're going to go into an engagement with and then what that outcome is going to look like necessarily, because you're not in control of how the other person or the other engagement happens. And so there was a couple people that I started an engagement with that you couldn't foresee that they were a breaker, right? There's builders or breakers. There's two categories. That's it. And that taught me a lot. Taught me a lot of who to keep in my circle, who not to keep in my circle, how to filter between the two, the good figs and the bad figs, right? Builders or breakers, good figs or bad figs, whatever you want to call it. There's two categories of people. And now I finally feel like I got a good hold on that. So for everybody who's listening here, after being so networked in San Diego, I know that I know who I know, what I know, and what I know now, man, the Chelsea 2 years ago, I wish I could have told her. But then she wouldn't have actually gone on this journey to be who she is now. And I also want to give credit where credit is due for in my personal life, in my ministry life, with my beautiful friends, Kevin and Cassie Tan, Stephanie and Michael Amadeo. I've got Casey Ashley and Lynn Pop. I've got all these amazing people that are in my life. And I want to thank my beautiful pastors, Susan and Wayman Howard, and what they are doing in Home Church and Love Defined Ministries, how they're helping so many people around the world. You guys, we get to choose how we want to show up, showing up for ourselves, showing up for others, showing up for the Lord. And I could not be more grateful to be sitting here today talking to you. I also want to thank another very great and amazing individual that I've come to know over the past couple of years, who's I know has been supporting me as well, because I've been doing some great experiences with them. Dr. Ayala with Grossmont College, and thanks for inviting me to the culinary arts dinners, which was so special, getting to share that time with my good friend Lisa. That was really beautiful. And everything that I'm telling everybody on this podcast, and I'm so sorry if I forgot to mention your name, if you've been there in my life. I know a lot of you watch my stuff on LinkedIn, and that's a very active point for you. At any time in my journey, the wins, the losses, the good times and the bad, I'm thankful for all of them, because it has shaped me into who I am today. So what that means is, moving forward, there's going to be a lot more content that is going to be talking about what I am working on and working towards with what I got going on with TMG, with the Navy Talent Pipeline Program, and then what I got going on with the bill, S1245, obviously the different opportunities being on the board of the Navy League. We got so many events coming up. So I really just stay tuned. It does become a lot and bearing to obviously manage everything all at once all the time. I know that there's going to be an opening for me to hopefully hire somebody to help me part-time and doing all of this, and which is going to be really exciting, really cool. But for now, it's me, myself, and I, and my amazing husband to support me, and all the beautiful people that are around me that I get to partner with and collaborate with. And just know that who you are right now, today, that can be changed. If you're not happy, guess what? You get to change that. And I am so grateful for all the time that I got to spend in children's ministry. I got to show you guys these earrings that I got on my ears. They're so fun. I was gifted these by little Theo and Vaughn Clark, and they're the beautiful Clark family. That was really special. Butterflies. Before I even knew that like God was going to be speaking to me through so many butterfly things, I've got a butterfly gift here from my beautiful sister Lisa. It says, every day God thinks of you. Every minute God cares for you. Every hour God looks after you, because every second he loves you. And there's other scriptures that are on here too. So yeah, just gratitude, grateful. I'm drinking out of a grateful cup right now. Grateful. There's a lot of things that we can be focusing on right now that are really dark, really out of our control. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's so much happening that's out of our control. So focus on what I'm pointing at you who's looking at the camera, who's looking at the screen, and I'm pointing at you if you're listening. You have a choice. What are you going to do today? So this has been the Unhinged Success Podcast. I am Chelsea Gray, and stay tuned for what's to come. And I hope you have a very, very blessed and beautiful day. In Jesus' name, amen.